Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Fight SZN Podcast. Happy New Year. I'm here with Andrew Capucetti and our researcher, Dante Greco. What's up, guys? Happy New Year. How you guys doing?
What's up, Jesse?
How was your holidays and everything? How are you guys feeling? Are you excited about the new year, this brand new Fight SZN 2023? How you guys doing?
Feeling good.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to be back on the pod. Let's do it. Let's get it.
Yeah, as you guys will notice, we are not in studio. We are filming this remotely, but we'll be back in studio on the 9th, I think, Cap, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, next Monday. Every Monday we film our podcast.
Yeah.
You can catch it out released on Tuesdays.
Absolutely. Well, a lot happened while I was gone. I was out of town with family, and a lot happened. And I know that we had our previous guest in our last episode was Chito Vera. Huge news dropped since that episode aired, where Chito Vera is going to be fighting Cory Sandhagen at the UFC Apex. That is a banger in the bantamweight division. Just a quick take on that fight. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, it's February 18th, so
Still got some time.
Yeah, we're about 6 weeks away. Yeah, Chito says he takes any fight any day. He doesn't complain. He doesn't wait. He doesn't sit out. He doesn't wait for fights. So Chito's a man of his word. He's a guy's always ready to fight whoever. So that's what he's told us, and he says in many interviews. And that's a great fight. Sandhagen's a beast. Chito's a beast. And, you got to think the winner of that's definitely getting a title shot, 100%. We don't know what's happening with the title situation right now. You got Aljamain, the champ. People don't know.
Cejudo.
Yeah, people don't know if he's going to fight Cejudo or O'Malley, but Aljamain's title defense is not even announced yet. So,
yeah, it was cool that news broke, just because when he was talking to us, he was obviously saying how he was trying to fight Peter Yan, but then Peter Yan was having some issues with the UFC, and we didn't even brush up on the concept of him fighting Sandhagen. That didn't even get brought up in conversation. And then once it got announced, it was kind of just seemed like, oh yeah, that's the obvious fight to make here. That's a great one, because both of those two guys, I think they're both ranked 4th and 5th. It seemed, yeah, I think you're right. I think they are gonna get a title shot, whoever wins that one. But I like Cory Sandhagen a lot, but I would love to see Chito win that fight, just because he was so cool in that interview. I want to see that dude get a title shot. I think he deserves it. Who you got in that fight, though? We're 6 weeks away. Who do you got in it?
Yeah, I'm going with Chito, of course. Well, Sandhagen, it's tough to call. I don't even know what the odds are. I wish I knew if there was some type of betting odds.
But, I don't think they've been released yet.
I think it's going to be close. I got to go with my guy, Chito. They're both strikers. Both coming off, big wins. Chito off the head kick knockout of Dominic Cruz, and Sandhagen beat Young Dong or
Song Yadong.
Song Yadong. And that was
Young Dong. Yeah.
That was a good fight.
Yeah, it was. I think it ended early because Song Yadong had a cut over his eye that was getting in the way. It was doctor stoppage. But yeah, I'm excited. I really like both of the fighters, so I'm a little bit conflicted with it. I think Sandhagen's going to get it done, but I am rooting for Chito. I'll put it that way. But I think that Chito, deep down, he probably wants to fight. He wants to fight Aljamain. I mean, based on everything that he said this week, what did he say about Aljamain? He said that he's basically that the way in which he carries his weight in between fights is kind of like a pussy move. If I'm not mistaken, is that what he said? It's kind of, he didn't say he's a cheater, but he said it's akin to cheating. That is kind of like a pussy way of that he carries himself at 170 and he cuts weight down to 135. Is that what he said?
Here's what he said, Jesse. He said, cutting that much weight is cheating to me. You're kind of a pussy if you cut that much weight because you want to be bigger and stronger, because he really doesn't hurt nobody, but he makes you carry his weight, takes you down. I'm 155 pounds in or out of camp. I feel like that's a natural 135 pounder. And I'm still thinking I cut a shitload of weight because 20 pounds is a lot.
I think what he's saying, to simplify it, is just that he's cutting too much weight and he should be fighting at 145. That he's too big for bantamweight, and it's kind of a bitch move or a pussy move, whatever. I don't want to quote Chito, whatever he said, bitch, pussy, but he's pretty much saying that he's too big to fight at 135, and that you probably should be fighting at 145 if you're a guy that big. Because Chito walks around at 155 and he fights at 135. That's a 20-pound difference. Where he claimed Aljamain is like 170, so that would be a 35-pound difference. So he's probably just implying that Aljamain should fight at 145, and that he cut so much weight that he said that it's easy when you get hit, it's easier to go down. That's why he went down versus Peter Yan.
Sterling reacted to that, by the way. I don't know if you saw it. He responded to that and said that it was a phantom knee, that his head went into the knee. That has nothing to do with him losing weight. But that's interesting, right? That he said that.
I agree with both of them. I kind of agree with Chito that when you do cut that much weight, you're super weak and you can lose and go down easier. But I also agree with Aljamain. Like, he took a knee in a certain area that would put down most bantamweights.
Right. I talked to Javid Basharat, and he told me that he thinks that this is just people are kind of looking for reasons to discredit Aljamain's title defense, because I kind of agree with Javid in a way, because he's basically saying, like, look, if you can make the weight, what is the problem really? Like, how is it an issue if you actually do make the weight? I mean, he was basically saying, like, he walks around at like 158, 160, but if he really just didn't take care of himself, he could get up to 185, no problem. Right. But then he would be able to cut back down to 135. Would be harder, but he'd still be able to do it. So I don't know. I'm kind of that thinking that I don't think Aljamain Sterling there should be any questions about his title defense, simply because if you make the weight, Hamzat didn't make weight against Nate Diaz, and that was like, what, an 8-pound weight difference? If Aljamain can do it, like weighing in at 170 a couple weeks before the fight, and he still makes weight, hey, like,
what are you talking about title defense though? What do you mean there? You said something about Aljamain's title defense.
Javid Basharat said that he thinks that some fighters are kind of looking for a reason to discredit Aljamain. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. No, that's what he said.
No, I heard that part. You said something about title defense. What do you mentioned title defense?
Oh, I think it was just I think maybe it was my choice of words. They were looking for a reason to discredit Aljamain during his title defense right now, just his title reign.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, no, Javid, you interviewed Javid. He's a beast, 13-0.
He was cool as shit. He was a really nice guy. He was cool.
Yeah, he'll be climbing up the ranks soon. That guy's he's a badass fighter.
Undefeated. And he really, what he told me is like his New Year's resolution, quote unquote, what he wants to see for himself by the end of 2023 is that he thinks that he should be in the top 10. So, yeah. But he thinks that the business is kind of screwing him over a little bit, that he's not getting the fights that he really wants because, the business is maybe he's not like a big enough name yet to get some of the big name fights, but that he believes he's going to be, by the end of 2023, he believes he will be in the top 10 getting big name fights. So.
That's what a lot of fighters say. They always say that they're not being pushed. I don't like those excuses.
Yeah.
Just go out there, win, knock people out in crazy fashion, submit people, pick up decision wins. Dana will do the rest. Dana and Hunter Campbell, they know what they're doing. If you rack up win streaks like he's doing, Javid will be all right. And he wants to be ranked in the top 10 and 23. That's totally – he probably, if he keeps winning, definitely will be in the top 10.
Yeah. He's fighting Mateus Mendonça. Is his next fight.
January 14th, right?
What?
January 14th.
Yeah, UFC Vegas 67. They're fighting. And, yeah, he wants the
14th. So that's in 12 days.
Yeah, he was trying to get a fight with Adrian Yanez, but Yanez is fighting Rob Font now, so he's not going to get that one. But that's a fight that he said that he's looking for. He's focusing on that one. So
yeah, Yanez is ranked at what? I mean, it's
well, Font is ranked in the top 10, I'm pretty sure. So
yeah, no, these unranked guys, they know what they're doing. They're always trying to get a ranked fighter. If I was unranked, I'm always going to be calling out the ranked guys. That's how you become ranked. You got to take out an unranked fighter. But look out for Javid Basharat. Am I saying his last name?
Yeah, Javid Basharat. Yeah.
He's from Afghanistan.
He's a UK fighter from Afghanistan. Yeah.
Afghanistan. Yeah, no, I've heard of him because I've seen him fight, but Jake Shields also coaches him.
Right. I've seen some photos of them on Instagram together. Yeah.
He works with Shields. And he has a promising, and he has a brother in the UFC.
That's right. Yeah.
Who's also, I believe, undefeated.
No, he was dope. He was no bullshit.
That's Farid Basharat, by the way.
Farid Basharat. And his record's what, 9-0, I believe?
Let me check that out.
But these Basharat brothers are no joke. Look out for them.
Yeah. And Javid is one of the Dana White's Contender Series success stories. So maybe him and Sean O'Malley will meet up one day and they'll fight for the Dana White's Contender Series throne.
Personally, I love seeing brothers fight, be professional fighters. You got the Pettis brothers, obviously the greatest brothers to ever do it. The Diaz brothers. I know Dante has a brother, Jesse has a brother, I have a brother. Imagine if your brother was in the exact same profession as you, and you guys were both excelling at the same level. So the Basharat brothers both being undefeated is sick as fuck.
Yeah.
Look out for those guys.
Farid's 9-0, by the way.
9-0. See, like exactly. And then you got Javid at 13-0.
Yeah.
Combined, the Basharats are 22-0 in the UFC. And you got some proud parents there. That's incredible. So,
yeah, well, he was cool. So I'm rooting for him to have a big year. It's always because when you talk to them personally, you kind of want good things for them. So,
right.
Although, did you guys ever see that movie Warrior with Tom Hardy? It's about the brothers in the UFC, and they end up fighting each other at the end. I can't imagine that scenario would ever happen where you'd actually have two brothers fighting each other in the UFC. Right. Has that ever been proposed in the UFC? Because you've had a few, like you said, the Diaz brothers. I don't think that's ever happened, right?
No, I don't think brothers, unless you're the Paul brothers, would ever fight each other. I don't even know if the Paul brothers fight each other.
Yeah, I don't know if they would either.
Fight their brother, I would just be like, here, brother, take the title.
Well, if it's the fight to make, though, if it's the number 1 and number 2 ranked guy, and that's how you determine it, I don't know. Maybe it would happen. Maybe it could happen one day.
Personally, I wouldn't fight my brother, but yeah. Would you guys fight your brother for a fucking title?
No.
I mean, if we're talking about fighting him for a number 1 podcast, fucking hell yeah, I would.
You'll step in there with your brother, Anthony?
I'll step into the content ring. Hell yeah. Bring the microphones.
Hey, I noticed that's like your 20th cough here, Jesse Rowe. You good over there? What's going on?
Dude, I'm sorry. I went from getting COVID to getting the flu in the span of 3 weeks, and my throat is messed up. I am no longer contagious. So that is not why we're not doing this in the studio. But yeah, sorry.
I'm glad
the more I talk, the harder it is for me to keep it together.
It has nothing to do with the cat hair or dog hair or anything like that.
That could be part of it, but as far as I know, that is not the case because I was coughing on my entire vacation and I was no cats were around. So,
Dante, how you been? I know you're adjusting to now living with the dog. Before you didn't live with the dog, and you do have a couple dogs now. How are you adjusting to dog hair and all that?
I don't have any animal allergies or anything like that. The hair, other than more vacuuming, the hair doesn't bother me.
Okay, yeah. Allergies weren't the question. It was specifically how you adjusting to seeing dog hair all over your couches, clothes. Personally, me and my wife, we don't let no animals in the house. But
yeah, I mean, I used to be that way, but what are you gonna do? Your girl brings a dog into your life, and you gotta love it.
Hey, really quick, to get back to the undefeated, I would love to talk about Dante's dog hair all day, Pierre. But to get back to undefeated prospects, what do you think is going to happen with Shavkat Rahkmanov? I apologize. What's going to happen with that guy? So he lost his fight with Jeff Neal, so that's no longer happening. It seems like this is a guy that nobody wants to fight. Oh, yeah. What's next for him? Because that's a huge deal that fight's not going down anymore.
Well, yeah, we're all fight fans were looking forward to that fight because Jeff Neal would probably be his hardest task to date.
Yeah,
and he had to pull out due to injury. Shavkat is 16-0 with 16 finishes. This guy's finished everyone he's fought. That's incredible. So he has 8 knockouts, 8 submissions. What's going to happen with them? We did a post on Inside Fighting Instagram, and everyone was, in the caption we put, who should Shavkat fight, and everyone was, of course, saying Chimaev.
Right.
Obviously, two undefeated guys. That fight probably not going to happen. But
and it's two undefeated guys that everybody perceives to be two guys that quote unquote nobody wants to fight. Right. That's what everybody's saying about those two guys.
Both untouchable guys. If
right.
I'm the promoter, I make that fight. But
there's a guy named Brian Barberena who said he wanted to step in. Right, on Twitter.
It's not. The UFC shut him down.
Oh, really?
And nor do I want to see that fight either.
Yeah, Barberena just came off a loss. It wouldn't be I think that was just Barberena getting himself in the news.
Well, because Shavkat came back and said, "Why not? Let's do it for the fans."
Well, because Shavkat wants to stay active and cash a check.
Yeah,
he wants to get paid.
He is staying active. He's playing basketball with the Leech. They're hooping, bro. They're staying active.
Yeah, I wonder. Fight the Leech.
Yeah. I mean, I think that would be a tough fight for the Leech, but it was pretty cool to see them hooping together, playing basketball. I imagined that'd be a fun pickup game to be a part of.
Yeah, we posted that picture on Instagram, and it was 4 guys shirtless. They all looked like they just played. I don't know if they were playing 4-on-4, 2-on-2, but shit, I love playing basketball. Who doesn't like playing a little ball for cardio?
Yeah, these guys are in pretty damn good shape, though. I don't think that's a game I would want to want to step into quite yet.
I wonder if Shavkat is any good in ball.
He probably sets screens. He's one of those guys. He sets screens and then he runs the pick and roll to the post.
Leech looks like, just judging strictly from the photo, we know Shavkat's the better fighter, but Leech looked like the better basketball player.
Leech looks like he's probably running he's the 2 guard. I'm getting 2 guard vibes from Leech. I'm getting big man vibes from Shavkat. I don't know who the other guys are. I apologize.
But probably just a couple friends with hers.
Yeah, Leech looks like he has a jump shot.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
and then Shavkat just looks like a rebounder type. Yeah, but who's he gonna fight? Are they? Are there any? There's no buzz.
There's no buzz. Everything is basically still about the Jeff Neal stuff and the Brian Barberena stuff. It looks like it's going to be tough for him to get a fight because he's a tough matchup. So it's gonna be tough. But I think like you said about Dana White, these guys are so good. They're gonna find the right fight for him. And he's another one of those guys. He's probably like 2 fights away from a title shot. So,
right, 2 wins.
2 wins away.
What's Shavkat's ranking right now? He's
let's see, Shavkat Rakhmanov ranking.
No, I'm looking it up.
Number 10 in the welterweight rankings.
See if we could beat our own research guy. There you go.
I was about to say it, but Jesse said it first.
Yeah.
And Sean Brady has a fight coming up, I believe. I think. Fuck it. Shavkat, Stephen Thompson. But Stephen Thompson wants a striker. Shavkat will probably just grapple Thompson down to the ground. And
that's a bad matchup for Thompson.
Thompson said in his last win over Holland that he wants more exciting fights, wants to put on more exciting fights for the fans. So, he wants a striker. Fuck it. I want to see Shavkat Bilal Muhammad.
I like that.
Bilal thinks he's in line for a title shot. I can see that. I'm not hating on him. He wants Leon Edwards. But if he doesn't get Leon Edwards, Shavkat Bilal, that's a good fight.
I like it. I think that's a very good matchup. I was going to say Gilbert Burns, but I think Gilbert Burns has a fight lined up, right? Is that with
he does have a fight lined up.
Magny? Is that who it is?
Yeah, it is Magny.
Yeah, so I think unfortunately, that was the other name that rang in my head. But yeah, I like that. I think that's a good call. I think I wouldn't be surprised to see the UFC make that happen. Shavkat versus Bilal, because
it's 2023 and there's only I think 3 title fights lined up so far. In January we got Figueiredo versus Moreno. Well, we have 4 title shots lined up. We have Moreno versus Figueiredo in Brazil. We got Teixeira versus Hill in Brazil. That's for the title at 205. And then in
Okay.
February, you got Volkanovski versus Islam, at 155. Volkanovski trying to be the double champ.
And then Kamaru versus Leon rematch.
No, that's not even.
But it's not announced. But we're assuming that that's going to happen at some point.
No, that's what I was getting at. Those title shots are announced. The ones that aren't announced is 170. No one knows who Leon's
right? Yeah.
There's some reports that Kamaru's hand is not healthy. I want to know who Leon can fight. Is it going to be Bilal? Is what's going on with Colby Covington ever since George Masvidal came upside his head, outside the steakhouse. So,
and I don't think the UFC is going to give Khamzat a title shot after missing weight. I think he's got to win another fight before he gets there, is my guess. So, is he going to fight at middleweight or is he going to fight at welterweight? Has any movement been made on that?
Khamzat?
Yeah.
Well, we saw on his YouTube channel, his coach said that ideally, if it was up to him, he would like Pereira at 185.
Yeah.
At middleweight. But if they have to make welterweight again, he said, and quote, no problem. He can make 170, no problem. We've seen him make 170 before. We have seen him terribly miss trying to make 170 versus Diaz.
Yeah.
Do I believe he can make 170? Yeah, of course. We've seen him do it a few times already. So to my original point, we only have 3 title fights scheduled so far in 2023. Like,
right.
what's going to happen at heavyweight? Who's Ngannou going to fight? What's going to happen at 185? Who's Pereira going to fight? What's happening at 170? Who's Leon going to fight? What's happening at 145? Well, we know Volkanovski's trying to be the double champion 155. What's happening at 35? We don't know who Aljamain's going to fight.
Should we take some beginning of the year bets to see who's going to be the champion by the end of the year?
If I had to guess at 135, I'm interested. We can rewind this next year.
Yeah.
2022.
All right. So who do you got as the 125 champion at the end of 2023?
The end of 2023, I'm going to go with being that Magomed just had got injured. I think he hurt his hand or he has to have some type of surgery. I'm going to say Moreno is at the end of 23. Brian Moreno is still champion.
Did you say Brian Moreno?
Brandon Moreno.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that as well. I'm gonna stick with Moreno. I like the baby assassin.
I'm taking notes, by the way. So
all right,
I'm gonna hold you guys to this.
135.
I'm gonna say at the end of 2023, the bantamweight champion is gonna be Chito Vera. What about you?
Cory Sandhagen.
Okay.
Yep.
So you're picking him to beat Chito then?
I am. I think he's going to beat Chito.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
The featherweight, I think the featherweight champion at the end of the year is going to be. This one's tough. I don't know. He has to win 2 fights. I'm just going to throw it out there. I think Topuria somehow is going to find himself in a title shot situation and become the champion.
It would have to be at the end of the year because I do think he's a couple of wins away, but I love the pick. I think Topuria is the most dangerous title contender, I guess. He's not really a title contender yet, but I think he's the most dangerous in that division, the most knockout power in that division.
And I do want to back up. See, I knew there was another title fight that I was missing. It's Yair Rodriguez versus Emmett.
Right.
Right.
That
is the scheduled title fight at 145. They're fighting for the interim bout because Volkanovski is moving up.
They are fighting in Australia. That is right.
So I got Yair Rodriguez in that fight. I think Yair Rodriguez, holds on to the interim title. I don't know if Volkanovski is going to go back down to featherweight. But, I see in the future Yair Rodriguez versus Topuria and Topuria getting the dub.
Yeah, I think I have to go with I like the Topuria pick. I just wonder if he's gonna have a title fight by the end of 2023.
Right.
And
anything's possible. People pull out of fights. People get hurt. People have to step in. So
I think it would be one of those scenarios. But I will say it's Volk. I think it's gonna be Volk still.
So you think he's gonna come back down to 45 and beat the winner of he's gonna beat the interim champ, which is gonna be Yair or Josh Emmett?
Well, yeah, because that leads us to 155. I don't think he's gonna beat Islam. And that's why I think he's going to go back down to 145 and win there.
And beat the winner of Yair.
Yeah. That's,
Yeah, I think he loses the Islam and takes the rest of the year off. You see a lot of champions sometimes. He's been so active. I think he's due for a long break. I think he fights Islam in February, and we don't see him fight the rest of the year.
Okay.
Possibly. Who knows?
Yeah. But I do think, so we agree Islam we probably both think Islam is the champ at 155 by the end of the year.
Yeah, I do. I don't think anyone's beating Islam right now.
I agree. I agree with that.
That grappling's too that Dagestani grappling is, a lot of people can't hang with that. Welterweight 170, the champion at the end of the year, I believe, will be, if he makes weight, Chimaev is gonna find a way to hold that strap.
Yeah, if he is in welterweight, if he's actually able to make, I think that
that's what I'm saying. If he's able to make weight, Chimaev. If he's not able to make weight, I think Leon holds on to the belt.
So you think he wins a rematch against Usman?
Yeah. I think he wins.
So I think Usman wins.
It would be a trilogy, by the way. But yeah, I think he would win the trilogy.
Right. I think Usman wins, and then I think we're gonna see Khamzat versus Usman. I think that would make sense if he does stay at welterweight.
There's something about these fighters. Usman's already like 35, I believe. Possibly even 36. And
I think you're right. I think it's Khamzat.
I think you've been a champion so long. Which other fighter has been a champion so long, and then they lose and they come back and they're champion? There has been a few situations where that happened.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the names here. If he makes weight, the answer is Khamzat. I think he'll beat Leon if they fight.
Right.
I think he'll beat Usman if they fight, to be honest. Although I don't know if he's ever been tested in terms of like a long 5-round fight with a guy like Usman, but yeah. Khamzat.
When he fought Gilbert Burns, that was 3 rounds, right?
Yeah.
3 rounds when he fought Gilbert Burns.
And he was dropped a couple of times in that fight. So
I don't know if that was 3 rounds.
It was 3 rounds. 3-round fight. Yeah. All right. So we both have Khamzat. Now that kind of makes middleweight a little confusing here, but who do you think reigns at middleweight? We have the current champion as Alex Pereira. Right. We likely will see a rematch with Izzy at some point, but that is still yet to be determined. But we have a lot of people, licking their chops to fight the current champion because they perceive his grappling skills to be on the weaker side based on what Adesanya was able to do over 5 rounds. What do you think? Who's the champion at middleweight by the end of 2023?
I think Dana grants Izzy his rematch sometime probably in July, maybe in Vegas, and I think Izzy wins. Mm-hmm. We all saw Izzy lose in the 5th round. He won the first 4 rounds. I think this way he finds a way to hang on to the dub because Pereira just amazing striker. He just has absolutely 0 grappling. And I think to be a long-term champion in the UFC, you got to have some type of grappling. And he was even getting out-grappled by Izzy. I think Izzy finds a way to get it done, to be honest.
Well, Plinio Cruz, Pereira's trainer, says that he got his brown belt in jiu-jitsu.
Right.
So he will be working on it. But I agree. I think it's going to be Robert Whittaker will be champion at the end of 2023, and I think he's gonna get a title fight after. I don't know what's going down with Costa if they are going to fight. If Costa is going to work out his deal with his contract and everything, but if that fight goes down, I think Whittaker is just a better fighter, but a more technical fighter. I think Robert Whittaker will be the middleweight champion at the end of 2023.
Again,
that's my prediction.
You think he'll be champion
again? Yes,
get his belt back.
I think so.
Interesting. See, I think Izzy will get his belt back at 205. I think the champion at the end of the year at light heavyweight will be Jamal Hill. I think Jamal Hill beats Teixeira. I think Yuri comes back from his shoulder injury, and Jamal Hill beats Yuri. That's my prediction.
Do you think Yuri will be back within a year? Because that's what I'm concerned. He's not going to be back till 2024. That's my only concern.
Okay, well then they'll line him up versus maybe Anthony Smith, maybe who knows, Ankalaev.
Yeah, see, that's what I was gonna say. Is I think that we're gonna see, like, you're gonna see Jamal Hill beat Glover, and then you're gonna see Ankalaev. I don't know if he will need another fight to get back to a title contention because of the sour taste left in the UFC's mouth after the Ankalaev Blachowicz fight, but I think Magomed Ankalaev will be the champion at the end of 2023.
Really?
But I do think Jamal Hill will win in his Glover Teixeira fight, but I think Ankalaev will be champ.
Yeah, no, I think Jamal. I want to take back my prediction for end of the year champ. I think Jamal Hill will beat Teixeira. Somehow Pereira moves up to 205 and is I'm going to say Pereira is the 205 champ at the end of the year.
You think Pereira moves up to light heavyweight?
Yeah, because he's just a big guy, big boy.
Oh my God, that knockout power will be insane at 205.
Yeah, so that is my end of the year pick.
Wow.
Pereira, 205 champ. Moving on to heavyweight here, my pick for 2023 end of the year heavyweight champ. I'm gonna go with this one's actually easy for me. I'm gonna go with Sergey Pavlovich.
Sergey Pavlovich. Yeah.
Even though I like John Jones, lifelong John Jones fan here. The almost 3 year layoff, I think that's too long of a layoff to come back. And John Jones wasn't even too impressive in his last few fights versus Dominic Reyes. Who was John Jones' last fight? See, it's been that long.
I don't remember, to be honest. I love the pick though. Sergey Pavlovich was absolutely filthy against Tai Tuivasa, just completely dismantled him. I'm caught in between three names. I don't know how serious or how tough it's going to be for Ngannou to recover from his injury. But I have a feeling about Cyril Gane being the champion. I think that we're going to end up seeing a Pavlovich-Cyril Gane fight. Right. That could be the next title eliminator fight that we see. We'll see Jones and Ngannou, and then we'll see Gane versus Pavlovich would be my guess. I don't want to pick against Pavlovich, but I have a good feeling about Cyril Gane being the champion at the end of 2023. So that's my pick.
I lost all faith in Cyril Gane when he completely did not show up versus his fight against Ngannou. I didn't lose all faith in him being a top, UFC heavyweight, but as far as champion, he didn't show up versus Ngannou at all. And
I guess I just have a feeling about.
But then he shows up versus Tuivasa and puts on a great performance. But then Tuivasa goes out and gets knocked out by Pavlovich.
Right. So it's going to have to be. He's going to have to get through Pavlovich in order to prove that he can be a champion.
Champion of the year is going to be Pavlovich. I don't think John Jones has what it takes. Obviously he has what it takes. But the 3 year layoff, the size difference, I can see him beating Ngannou, but I don't think he beats Sergey.
Yeah. To be honest, I don't really believe in my pick, but you took Pavlovich, so I'm sort of like, all right, I have to think of another name here, just because I do believe it's going to be Pavlovich as well.
Well, you can take him. Here's the way I see it playing out. I think John Jones beats Ngannou, Pavlovich beats Cyril Gane, Dana makes John Jones Sergey, and Sergey beats John Jones by the end of the year. That's the way I see it playing out.
Now, that would be... I know that John Jones has technically lost before, but that was based on a kind of a fluky decision because of some sort of judge's call. That would be his only defeat ever in UFC if he were to lose.
Right. Let's step away and grab a water real quick.
Yeah. All right. I like the pick. I like it. Oh, all right.
Dope.
Love it. It's going to be a good year. I mean, UFC was kind of crazy this year. All the upsets, all the underdogs winning. Yeah, I'm excited. What's the big boxing fight you want to see? Because that's everybody wants to see Tyson Fury versus Usyk.
I think what boxing diehards want to see, if the biggest, the concentration of boxing fans, because look, there's MMA fans and there's boxing fans and there's people like myself who like both, but there's some boxing fans who just don't watch MMA, and there's some MMA hardcores who don't watch boxing. But I think the majority of people watch both. The boxing hardcores would like to see Errol Spence versus
Terrence Crawford. Yeah,
Terrence Crawford.
Well, that fight was supposed to happen, right? They were like sort of in the early stages of negotiations on it, and it just fell apart.
Yeah, it was never, unless it's on paper, nothing's supposed to happen. Everything's talk until like Ryan Garcia, Tank Davis is supposed to happen, but it's not on paper. So unless there's an official contract, nothing's supposed to happen.
That's what Igis Klimas told you when you interviewed him. He said, until they walk onto the mat, it's
all talk.
It's all talk. Yeah, exactly.
Well, and then to me, I don't really get excited for a fight until there's, number one, an announcement. Actual contracts have been signed, and there's like announcements, and then weigh-in day. Because up until both fighters weigh in, injuries, people pulling out, arrests, all types of crazy shit can happen. So
I do think we're going to see Fury Usyk, though. I do think that fight will get made. I think Fury wins. That's my...
Yeah, no, Fury is making a claim for himself as the greatest heavyweight of all time.
I wouldn't root against him in that regard at this point. So
yeah.
Well, hey,
I don't know if he can beat a Mike Tyson, but Fury's just so his skills for what is he, 6'9", 260 pounds. The guy moves, his defense, his offense. Fury's definitely one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. He's very special.
Yeah, and Usyk is 6 inches shorter, and he's fought at middleweight before, if I'm not mistaken. So it's going to be quite a size disadvantage for Usyk. And yeah, I like Usyk. I don't see him winning that fight. I think Tyson Fury is the best heavyweight boxer of all time. I'll say it.
You want Tyson Fury?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that fight probably will happen. I think that fight's more likely to happen because of Igis Klimas. He's able to bring these two parties together and strike a deal. I think that's more likely to happen than Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence.
Yeah.
But in boxing, yeah, everyone wants to see Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, Usyk, Fury, Gervonta Davis, Ryan Garcia, which I think that fight will also happen. I think in 2023, fans will finally get to see Ryan Garcia, Tank Davis. I think Tank Davis fights this Saturday, January 7th, versus Hector Luis Garcia. I think he gets the job done easily, and I think Oscar De La Hoya and Tank's people, which is PBC, Al Heyman, I think they're able to hammer out a deal. So I think that fight definitely happens.
Love it. Who do you got in that fight? You're gonna take your boy, right?
Yeah, I got Ryan Garcia. Well, Tank's an unbelievable talent. I like them both, but I think I don't think Tank's ever faced a boxer with the speed and power of a Ryan Garcia. I think Ryan Garcia's power gets overlooked. Everyone talks about his speed, but he also has power. So
yeah.
I think whoever Ryan touches clean and connects on clean goes down.
All right.
Same with Tank.
Yeah, I mean, I think that boxing needs it just because MMA is so it's hands above everything else right now in combat sports. So I hope one of those fights happens. So at the very least, we have something to look forward to. You know, Jake Paul fights are fun, but I want to see a big superstar showcase. So
now over the weekend on New Year's Eve, Rizin versus Bellator, they had their cross promotion fight. 5 Rizin. Well, there was more than a main card, but it was Rizin versus Bellator. And in the main event, the 5 fights, Bellator went 5-0. It was AJ McKee, Patricio, Horiguchi, Archuleta, and one other fighter, but they ended up 5-0. But at that event, Manny Pacquiao came out and announced his return to boxing, professional boxing, because he did do an exhibition in December, but he announced his return to professional boxing under the Rizin banner. He signed with Rizin. And, in his announcement, we posted it on our Instagram. He said he will be fighting in 2023 boxing. So I wonder who he's going to fight. Who knows? Maybe he boxes Nate Diaz.
Is there a fight that would get you excited for Manny Pacquiao at this point? Just being honest, just asking the question honestly.
Is there what?
Is there a fight for Manny Pacquiao that would get you excited at this point?
Yeah, Floyd Mayweather rematch, Nate Diaz. I know Nate's a lot bigger than Pacquiao, but they can meet at 160. Pacquiao's fought in many different weight divisions throughout his career, and I'm sure when he's not cutting weight, he walks around at like 160. We obviously know Nate can make 160. A Nate versus Pacquiao fight at 160 would be incredible. Floyd rematch would be incredible. They're both around the same age, both still in shape. We see Floyd all the time doing these exhibitions. He's in shape. Pacquiao stays in shape. I would love to see a rematch. Who else could Pacquiao fight? Who knows? Well, I don't know. Under the Rizin banner, I don't know if he can still fight guys like I don't know if PBC or Top Rank will do a fight with Rizin. But hey, we can see Pacquiao fight Earl Spence, Terrence Crawford. Those are great fights too. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess I don't know.
Spence said that he wasn't interested in fighting Pacquiao, or he's no longer interested in it.
Oh, did you say that? When did he say that? And where at?
I'm seeing this on Boxing News website. I don't want to give the name, but
no, that's fine. You got to credit them. Don't be a hater.
BoxingNews24.com said recently Spence said he was no longer interested in fighting Pacquiao.
They didn't say who he said it to?
No, I'll try to find more attribution.
Oh, that's weird. Well, Spence wants that Crawford fight. Maybe
what about Jake Paul?
Pacquiao, Jake Paul? That's a huge size difference.
That's a massive size difference. Yeah, but
that being said, I don't think Jake Paul wants that. Pacquiao's there's levels, and Pacquiao's super advanced technical. I think if they box, no matter the size difference, I think Pacquiao will pick apart Jake Paul.
Jake has been trying to get the Canelo fight. I mean, it seems like that's the fight that when he fights an actual like real champion boxer, that's the guy that he's been like targeting in his media interviews and everything. Is
to be fair, I like Jake Paul the person. If Jake Paul's watching us, I've met him many times, interviewed him many times. I have no issue with Jake Paul. I just don't think his skill set is at that Canelo Pacquiao level yet. Not saying he can't get there, but as of today, 2023, January 2nd, he can't hang with those guys. He can hang with Anderson Silva, who's a MMA legend. He's not a boxer, but he's not ready for a Canelo.
Hey, so Errol Spence was saying that he doesn't want to fight Pacquiao because he doesn't want to be compared to Larry Holmes and how Larry Holmes beat up Muhammad Ali and kind of fucked him up after that. So he doesn't want to do that.
That's what I'm wondering about the Pacquiao thing is this deal with Rizin, is it going to be like him just fighting like YouTubers or something like that? Like how Floyd has been fighting Deji, Floyd has been fighting some...
No. I think this is he'll be fighting pro competition. I think this is like a pro contract. I don't think this is an exhibition style contract he's signing with Rizin. I think these wins and losses he's going to be competing. I think they go on his record. Where Floyd doing these exhibitions, they don't affect his 50-0 record. I think when Pacquiao makes this announcement, he says, "Hey, I signed with Rizin and I'm fighting in 2023." He's talking about real fights.
It says here, Pacquiao did not go into details about the nature of the fight, but he will be facing a Japanese fighter.
I interpret that as it's a real fight that will affect his record, win or lose. If it was an exhibition, they would note that. But this is like a return to boxing,
right?
This is like this is a real boxing fight.
Well, I hope that it's I hope it's a good one, because, I mean, just if I'm being honest, I'm expecting it to just be against one of the Rizin boxers. Right. That it's not going to be a giant fight, but I hope I'm wrong. I hope that we do get to see sort of one last hurrah for Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be, if I had to make a prediction here, it's going to be Floyd Mayweather, because Floyd Mayweather has fought under the Rizin banner. So now Pacquiao's fighting under the Rizin banner. So, it's easier to make Floyd's familiar with that company, that promotion.
Maybe that's the only way they can get it done is through Rizin. Maybe the business of boxing, they just weren't able to get that rematch done. This is the way to do it.
Well, I think Pacquiao takes a tune-up fight for Floyd, and it fights one of Rizin's boxers. Then I do think that by the end of 23, fans will see a Manny Pacquiao Floyd 2.
Wow.
Well, just last month, he also said a Conor fight was still possible.
Who, Pacquiao?
Yeah.
Because Floyd's also saying a Conor 2 fight is possible. We got the biggest free agent in boxing, Nate Diaz. So 2023 for the sport of boxing is looking super exciting, possibly more exciting than the world of MMA, because you have that big free agent in Nate Diaz. You have Floyd, who's still active. You have Pacquiao, who's active. You have all these legends who are active and ready to fight. You have Jake Paul, who's not a legend, but he's a young star. He is a star in boxing now, one of the biggest stars in boxing. Yeah. And he's active. So you have all these active fighters, big names. So it's looking super exciting. Then you have Earl Spence, you have Terrence Crawford, Ryan Garcia, Tank Davis, Usyk, Fury. The list goes on. Andy Ruiz is posting looking for a fight.
That I'm glad you brought that up. That is one name that I want to see get a big fight in 2023. I do want to see Andy Ruiz get a big fight. He just had an impressive win in his last fight against Ortiz, and that was a big win for him. And
he's put together a couple wins. Before that, he beat Areola,
right,
which was another big win. So
obviously the biggest win of his career was against Anthony Joshua, but we're
right. I just hope it doesn't come down. I hope it doesn't come down to Manny Pacquiao versus Andrew Capucetti from Inside Fighting.
I love Pacquiao. Pacquiao's a legend, but he don't want to fuck with us. I'm 295 pounds, 6 foot. I ain't no Jake Paul. I got to put Pacquiao on his ass.
Hey, do you think Jake Paul would turn it down? Because people always try to diminish what Jake Paul does by saying he just fights old guys. And Manny Pacquiao, he's another old guy. So that might be a reason for Jake Paul to turn it down, even if it was offered. What do you think?
He's not too old. He's 43. I mean, some people would consider that old. Personally,
compared to Jake, he's old in boxing.
No, but I don't consider 43 old. Some people consider 43 old. I think you're not old in the world of combat sports until you're north of 45, where Anderson Silva was north of 45. But in sports in general, Jordan was competing at a high level in basketball at 40 years old. I think I saw something on Twitter. He competed in all 82 basketball games. A lot of people compete. Tom Brady, high level at 45. So, no, I think Pacquiao's only 43. I don't consider that old. Old to me is north of 45, in my opinion. I love the energy you guys are both bringing.
I want to go. No, I want to go back to Cap saying that he would put Pacquiao on his ass. I want to go back to this here.
No. I mean, I don't want to disrespect the legend here. I like Manny Pacquiao. He's a nice guy.
But so you don't think he could dance around you? You think you'd get your paws on him eventually because he's fast? I mean, he would
He is fast. No, well, I mean, obviously, you think he will dance around me, and you're picking Pacquiao in a boxing match versus me, but I am going to pick myself.
All right.
Let's just give measurements. I'm 6 foot 295. Pacquiao's about 5'7", 5'6", 155. I got almost 150 pounds on him if I touch him once.
Right. I guess the question is, because if it's a wrestling match, obviously it's not a contest, but if you touch him once, yeah, you're gonna all
You're
right,
gonna have to touch me multiple times, and
Yeah, a more fair fight would be Cap versus Tyson Fury. That would be a little more evenly matched. Cap having a slight edge, of course.
I'm still picking myself versus Tyson Fury.
right.
I'm not ever going on camera picking another man versus myself. But then you do got to be realistic, and if it was like me versus Mike Tyson, and Mike Tyson, I like Fury. Fury's pretty intimidating too, to be honest.
You'd have to fake an injury.
I don't want to box Tyson
to get out of it. Yeah.
I don't even want to box Andy Ruiz. These guys are talented. Like, that's high level skills. But what else is going on? Gervonta Davis was arrested for domestic violence. He was released. This was last week. He was arrested in Miami, in Florida, Broward County. I guess he had an issue with his child's mother. He was released the next morning on $1,000 bail. He put up a statement on Instagram clearing his name, saying he never touched his child's mother nor his daughter. And, they're lying on his name pretty much. It was a long statement. You can find it on our Instagram or on our website, InsideFighting.com. But he released a statement clearing his name. The following day, or it was the same day, his child's mother, Vanessa, released a statement clearing Gervonta's name, saying she made an unnecessary call to law enforcement and Gervonta never did hit her or her daughter. So, in essence, his own child's mother, girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, I don't know their situation. I assume they're not together, and I think it's a co-parenting situation. She cleared his name and said the call to law enforcement was unnecessary. So his fight this weekend is still on.
Mm-hmm.
But good to see his name get cleared, because we never want to see, men, celebrity or not, putting hands on females. So it's good that she came out and said, Gervonta did not touch her. So whether that's the truth or not, we got to take her at her word, and that's what she said. So
yeah, this is a tough one. Let's just hope that let's just hope that we can take her at her word, and that's all it was.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the type of guy to take people at her word. If she comes out and releases a statement and saying Gervonta didn't touch me or my daughter, and my call to law enforcement was unnecessary, I'm going to believe her. I have no reason to believe that she's lying.
Yeah, he does fight on the 7th, but he is due back in court on February 16th.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah.
So apparently she said that they're in counseling, so they're trying to work out whatever issue they had.
Yeah, and we'll see what happens with the charges, because she can release any statement she wants. It's up to prosecutors if they want to continue on with the case, or if there's enough evidence. So
yeah, I think usually when the accuser doesn't want to proceed, then it kind of like sucks the air out of the whole investigation, and they usually end up dropping it. But yeah, we'll see.
Personally, I hate seeing stuff like this, so I'm wishing the best to Vanessa and Gervonta. Hopefully they work out their issues, and they could both go on and have lovely careers for both of them.
Yeah, I noticed in like the comments online, a lot of people are bringing up Gervonta's past and his history. There's a timeline here and a pattern here of other things that have happened. Not all things that just because something happened before does not mean that it's a pattern, right? Sometimes there are just altercations between two men and women, and it gets out of hand. And it's not up to us to judge. Once February 16th, when he goes in for his court hearing, then we'll have more information. So, but for now, that's what we got, and we can't pass too much judgment until then. So.
Right. And other than that, it's been a quiet holiday season in the world of combat sports. The next UFC event is January 14th. Tank fights this Saturday, January 7th. You got January 21st, you got the Brazil card. But today's Monday. We'll see what happens. We'll see what transpires this week in the world of combat sports.
And we'll be back in the studio for next week's episode too.
Yeah.
Which
and if you guys do want to see, the greatest boxer of all time, Floyd Mayweather, 15-0, busting some dance moves, check our Instagram. He was in Dubai for New Year's Eve.
Yeah, no matter what you did on your New Year's Eve, you think you had a good time, go check out our Instagram and you'll realize nobody does it better than Floyd. I think what is he on a yacht? Just dancing with the Dubai in the background.
Yeah, he's on a yacht in Dubai.
Yeah.
He's wearing like 10 pure diamond chains. Just his neck alone, his jewelry on his neck alone has got to be worth $5 million. I know the way Floyd does it, and most celebrities' jewelry ranges in the hundreds of thousands. When you're talking about Floyd Mayweather, his jewelry ranges in the millions. So there's a good chance he's wearing at least $5 to $10 million on his.
Yeah, he's got like 13 necklaces on or something.
Yeah,
I do gotta say,
stones.
Yeah, I was getting some like 1970s disco vibes from some of his dance moves, but like when you've got as much money and style as Floyd Mayweather, you can kind of get away with it. So
I think he's an incredible dancer. Dante, you saw the video?
I did.
Yeah, he looked good.
Floyd's always just having a good time. He loves life.
That guy can't lose. I mean, in and out of the ring, he's got moves.
Yep.
I mean, Jesse's critical of his moves here. You got better moves.
I'm not critical of his moves. I think that he looked a little old school, is what I'll say, with his dance moves. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Like that. It looked classy.
Yeah.
It was there were some classy moves.
Yeah.
It looked stylish. But anyways, listen, thank you for joining us here on the Fight SZN Podcast, and catch us back in studio January 9th. Next Monday.
You guys.
All right, guys.
Dante, our researcher. Thank you, Jesse Rowe. Hopefully he gets that cough cleared up for our next episode.
Yep.
Yeah. Or there's only going to be 2 of us back in studio, and you're still going to be wherever you are, brother.
Yeah. The doctors have assured me I'm past the point of contagion. So you guys are good.
All right. Thank you very much.
Happy New Year.